$15.
Yeah, they upped it, right? Because last time that we all went was $5 tables, which was dope.
But you can also smoke inside that then.
Yeah. Well, you can't smoke inside
No more smoking
Bro,
indoors.
what is America failing?
This is why we're here.
If you can't smoke inside a casino,
All the homies.
what
What
is
are we
wrong?
doing?
What's the
Why
point?
does this place
I'm
even
honestly
exist?
glad you can't smoke inside the casino.
All right, well,
Are you saying
This is over.
Bro, I mean, listen, because at least at the end of the day, if you crap out and lose all your money, at least you don't smell like a freaking ashtray. You
no,
gotta go
then
home
you
and do
can't just
laundry.
rip a heater and get back in. Yeah.
you might as well not even drink it?
Yeah, really.
Smoke.
I only drink when I smoke.
There is
smoking
something
a drink.
that is added in terms of like the cleanliness and the ambiance is nice.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to go to a casino and feel like an upstanding citizen. You know what I
No,
mean?
I'm not going there
You
to
wanna
smell
feel-
good.
I want to feel
Yeah.
like trash.
Yeah.
That's right. Like I want to feel good about myself because I'm watching people chain smoke cigarettes in front of a slot machine, and I'm just like, at least
Bro,
that's not me.
you
Yeah.
see some
Character.
character.
Yes.
Oh,
it's
dude.
gold.
There's
It's worth going just
in
to
the
see.
freaking casino.
Yep.
I am utterly shocked every time I walk in there, and I'm
It's
like,
insane.
holy
There's
crap.
no rules.
It's insane.
There's no.
Some
You,
of the
you could.
people, they're
oh.
just staring at those slot machines. You think they're looking at God. They're like,
That's right.
Have you seen that video of
They
all
kind
those
of are.
old people just on the slot machines
dude,
on all
nonstop.
yeah,
It's like a-
and
it's
all
like
penny slots.
contest or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, it's
Imagine
crazy.
They're
that.
out there every day.
Oh yeah.
Imagine
Oh,
you
yeah.
were at a point in life where you sign up to play slots in a competition.
That's gonna be me.
You're playing
30
competitive
years.
slots. God,
give me
could you
30
imagine?
years.
bro, you need a life. Like, go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to the gym. It's crazy. I remember one of the craziest times, or it's not the craziest times, but crazy stories from the casino ever was I was walking the casino. It was my first or second time ever, and this dude just won a bunch of money on like, it was like craps or something like that. And it was like, okay, he just won a ton of money. And he just got up, started dancing, taking his shirt off, taking his jacket off. And
There's
me and
nothing
Bruce-
better than
me and
seeing
Bruce
people.
Blair, you know, Bruce Blair,
Yeah, it's like-
are walking by this guy, and instantly in my head I was like, dude, this reminds me of like when David danced before God. I was like, holy crap, money is an idol. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I was like, this is crazy.
Sodom and Gomorrah, baby.
Yep, exactly.
Crazy.
Donate turns around, turns into a pillar of salt.
Just snap off his finger and
Yeah.
put it on your salad. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to
Welcome.
Is the natural spinoff for this podcast?
It's Time.
Is it a gambling podcast called All the Bets with a Z?
Ooh.
Yes.
There we
Ramsey,
go.
you can be on every episode of that. Head it up.
I'll run sports. We could run.
Yeah,
sports.
yes.
Let's do it.
I'm not casino bets. I'm sports bets.
Listen,
Grant has
I'm-
one of the best betting strategies of anybody I've ever met, which is, I'll let you.
The perfect emotional hedge. So if I want my team to win, bet against them. So I'm either rich or happy.
There you go.
Not both, but I'm one.
That is
It's a
great.
glass half full, glass
That
half
is
empty.
great.
Like,
It is.
See,
hey,
I'm the emotional better. I'm like,
you double
I'm
down
I'm
on
putting it
sadness,
on-
dude.
Right, I'm
Well,
putting it on Lewis.
I grew up a Tennessee fan, so I mean, obviously, so I'm rich because we never win. So
It's monetizing the pain.
yeah, exactly.
Which is the greatest
Exactly.
line I've ever heard.
I think
as
I
a
made
kid.
like $500 on when we blew it against South Carolina this year in football. So
It's
it was
my
great.
favorite betting strategy I've ever heard.
How about Georgia?
Well,
Oh,
the
dude.
line wasn't very good, so I didn't win a ton of money. I
did.
won enough.
Yeah, gambling's, listen, gambling's a beast any way you do it. I remember, the first time I ever did a sports bet was when, we were at that sports betting thing, and I put I think it was like 10. I think it was like $20, $10 on a UFC women's fight, and I bet on the what do you call it? I'm not even that good at the unfavored. Yeah, the underdog.
The unfavored.
It was
That's
like,
what we're gonna use now.
It was
Put
like,
my money on the unfavored.
It was like plus 600 or something like
Yeah,
that.
and it hit?
And she was fighting the reigning world champion
Okay.
Russian, just like, dude, this girl looked
Howitzer.
like she was straight
God,
out of the
she looks
1980s
like-
Olympics,
Yeah.
doping, everything. I mean, I was like concerned. I was like, I think I made the wrong bet.
Right.
And this other girl was like this. Yeah, I think she was from Mexico. She was scrappy, and but she was like a stand and punch kind of girl. And anyway, the walkout happened. I'm like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
There goes my
Yeah.
money. I made the wrong bet. But this
Where's my money,
girl,
man?
this girl, bro, she almost got choked out by the Russian girl in the first round, and like the Joe Rogan was like, "It's over. It's gonna
Yeah.
be over."
Yeah.
And then she escaped, and he said, "I can count like on one hand the times I've ever seen somebody escape that
Dang.
a move like that." She escaped, And then in the third round or the fourth round, the Russian girl tried to throw a kick at the girl, turned around, and this girl, and my whole bet was like, I'm going to bet on this girl because she's the underdog,
Right,
but
right.
I know Hispanics have a fighting spirit.
Exactly.
I'm friends with a lot of Hispanics, and that I was like, take my money.
Love
and
it.
so,
Bro, is that the fight where all the memes come from? Where he's like, whoa! You know
Oh, yeah,
what
we're
I'm
just
saying?
like,
that
was amazing.
That was a while back. But this girl in
He
the
does
fourth,
that every time.
Yeah, so that's
every
every
time
fight.
there's a knockout.
the girl in the fourth round, as soon as she threw this kick and turned her back, jumped on this Russian girl's back and choked her out and threw her to the ground, the world championship, and won the world championship.
Bring me
That's
my
right.
money.
And I was like, dude, my legs were shaking the entire time. They were like, and I had $10 on the line. I looked at Bruce and I said, I'm not a gambler. I was like, dude, there's people with like thousands of dollars on these fights and stuff. And I was just like shaking. It's like every time we've gone to the casino, we talk a huge game. This is what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna kill it, bro. We're gonna walk out the kings. We get to the $5 table, and we're like, who's going first?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
And Chad's like, I'm
dipping in.
gonna watch.
Yeah.
And we come back in an hour, he's still watching. It takes us. We're like cold feet.
Chad Hall will scout a table for 2 hours before he decides to sit down like he's watching.
Yeah.
Gotta watch the
Way
table.
too patient with it. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh my gosh. But then he gets there and he
Yeah,
always
I know.
walks out with money.
I
And so
know.
there's something to the strategy.
Yep.
That said, I can absolutely see the danger of gambling. Every time I go to the casino now, my bet sizes get a little bit
I've
weird.
noticed that.
Right?
I was actually working with
Get
Bethany to
confident.
stage
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, it's like the last time I went, I lost the most I've ever lost at the casino. And then I made it back the following week in
Oh,
March
you're back,
Madness.
baby.
And all of a sudden I was
You're
like,
back,
I'm the
baby.
best gambler.
You break
I'm the
even.
best of all time.
You were like, last week, God was teaching me a lesson.
Yeah,
Last week I
This
walked
week,
out.
he was teaching me another lesson.
Last week I walked
Don't
out.
give
and I
up.
was-
Yeah.
Well, I'll never forget the time because, like, you know, when I first started going with you guys, it was all, you know, we would take $100, go to the blackjack table or whatever. And I remember this time you took $200. And Brandon's the kind of guy, I don't know if you've been to the casino with him or anything, but he will give you money and say,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
have a
Tried
great
to.
time.
Yeah.
If you make this money back, throw it my way if you
Yep.
like. And
Yep.
if not, you know, don't worry about
He
it.
tried to do it to me.
And so he's always been so giving, and like what you were saying is like what you know, karma, right?
Right.
And so I remember one time, it was the first time I ever saw this dude bleed at the casino because he was down $100 on the blackjack table, and I walked in with like $40, and I was like, dude, this is not going well. Something's wrong. We shouldn't be here. And I remember he got up from the blackjack table, $100 down. I felt like I just saw, you know, like Xerxes bleed, like at 300.
Yeah,
You know, when he
just
realized
shot with full arrows.
when he realized that he was like mortal, and I was like, I think
It's over.
guys, I
It's
think
over.
Ramsey's not
Our
the
king.
dude we need to
By
be
the
going to
way,
the casino
people
to.
at that same table are losing thousands of dollars,
Right.
and I'm
We're like,
sweating
over $100.
$100.
Right, and anyway, so this dude gets up, he's pissed. I'm over there playing the slots, and he said,
Wonder Woman.
he was like, yeah, Wonder Woman, and she was great. And anyway, he's like, you know what, screw it. I came here to lose $200. I heard him say, I came here to lose $200. I'm gonna lose $200.
Yeah.
He
like,
goes to the
oh,
roulette
God.
table, and he's like, has $100 left. He's like, throws 50 on 9 and 50 on 19, his wife's birthday.
Nice.
And he walks
Can't
away.
lose.
Walks
Can't
the
lose.
dude's gone. And we're just all looking there spinning. Boom, lands on 9.
Dang,
And we
that
freak
was
out.
baller.
Brandon's not
You
even
would have
around.
thought. You would have thought by their reaction from a distance that we had won
$100 grand.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, he walked away with like $2,000. I have a legendary pick. We'll
Yeah.
post it. But it's been freaking awesome. But it's crazy. Some people lose their lives
Fickle
doing
thing.
it.
It's a
But
fickle
you know
thing.
what? You can drown from drinking too much water. It's
true.
And who am I
It's
here
true.
to judge?
Hey,
you know.
everybody's got their vice. You just got to pick one.
Exactly.
Which one you
Yeah,
want to
Which one's
lose.
gonna kill you the slowest?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right. But anyway, I appreciate you guys joining us for all the homies. This is
All
one
the
of our homie hangouts.
Full homies.
Actually, our first homie hangout ever. We got a little mini game we're gonna play at the end. What you guys don't know is I've prepared a punishment. Oh, there goes my thing. A punishment for the loser. So whoever loses this game today will take a pie to the face.
Oh,
And
wow.
we have our judge right here,
I don't know
Mr.
how
Fashion
I got-
himself. And then the 3 contestants, you guys know, but I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. If you want to start with my boy Jay, co-host Jay.
Jay Little, what up, what up, what up? Jay Booty, Jay Money, whatever's advice.
Grant, back again. Thank you guys for having us again. I appreciate it.
Brandon, yeah, this is always a pleasure, and
Yup, and-
hopefully I'm kind of hungry. I'd take a pie in the face.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see what I can do. I'll put a good word in with the judge. So.
Brandon be like, fire me up, fire me up. Yeah, and it's donate, and just this is one of our just like homie hangs, man. This is what we be doing anyway, but we're gonna tape it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Put it in the archives.
Absolutely. So, dude, I appreciate you guys joining us. Just a little bit about how you guys became friends would be a little, because that's
I'm really
something I don't
interested
really
to know
know.
because I had no clue you guys even
It's
knew
an
each
accident.
other.
Total
Honestly,
accident.
yeah.
There's no great origin story.
No,
It's,
I think we realized that we were at the same time, same place, same time.
Yeah, literally.
Somehow, and we realized oh, you are me, and I.
Yeah,
we
that's
were
right.
very
We're the
similar.
same person.
So it's either at least with me, it's either when I'm the exact same as somebody, it's either butt heads or
Yes.
just immediately friends.
Yeah.
So I think we're just cynical enough to balance each
Was
other.
it through the wives?
What?
I
don't
honestly-
think so.
So there was crossover from our Lee days,
Of course,
right?
yeah.
I took a class with Gabby. That's where I got to know Gabby.
I had a class with
Grant's
Bethany
wife.
too.
And Grant had a class with Bethany, right?
Yeah.
And we knew of
Look
each
at God.
other and kind of ran when you're in the Greek life at Lee, you run a similar
Yeah.
social
For sure.
circle.
Same,
So
yeah.
everybody
Knows everybody. Right.
But it wasn't until the accounting firm that I worked at is the accounting firm that his wife works on the wealth
Yeah.
management side.
So it was.
But we didn't even interact.
Look at
No,
God. Look at
you
him.
know what it was? It was when
You crazy
Kramer
genius.
moved back from San
That's
Francisco,
exactly what it was.
and he was at your house.
It was
That's
the
what it was.
refrigerator.
Yes.
It was
yes.
bonding over the
yes,
refrigerator.
that's what it was.
So-
we moved a refrigerator together.
Well, we
and
didn't
almost
move anything.
died.
Did his
so,
back hold up?
We
barely.
didn't move anything.
No, true.
We
yeah.
so Aaron Kramer, good friend, moves from San Francisco to Chattanooga. We're helping him move into his house.
Okay.
He buys a refrigerator secondhand. We get it at the
2-ton
The house that he
refrigerator.
lives in is huge, a big old flight of stairs just to get up to the main floor. There's the
Yep.
garage, which is the first.
There's
floor.
no bottom
There's
floor.
no bottom floor. It's just the garage, and you got to climb these massive stairs to get the refrigerator up. So we're trying to bring this refrigerator up. Aaron has this
neighbor.
Dan, who's the biggest man on the face of the planet.
Let's go.
It's like who
Bigger
The
than
Rock
Donut.
It's like who The Rock aspires to be.
Yes,
That's ultimate.
yes. We need to pull up a picture of this
He-
dude. I mean, he is just
An absolute
No neck.
no neck. He looks
No
like
neck.
what's that dude off Guardians?
Oh,
he
yeah,
looks
he
like
looks
that
like
guy.
Batista.
Yeah,
He looks
Dave
exactly like
Batista.
Batista.
Well, I can't remember the character's name.
But so we're struggling to get this refrigerator up. He shows up out of nowhere and basically picks the entire fridge up himself
Yep.
and carries it into the house. But while we're doing that, the refrigerator starts to slip, and Grant is firmly
Oh, gosh.
underneath.
yeah,
essentially, the refrigerator.
I'm either gonna get crushed and die, or I'm gonna hold this fridge.
That's right.
Yeah,
Two choices.
That's right.
Right.
So it was that chaos moment that was
adversity
the
born out of
catalyst. That's right.
we had a common enemy,
Yeah.
and that's what happened.
And now we've been to countless baby showers. Grant's always super generous in hosting
Right
our
on.
friend
Things,
group's baby
yeah.
showers, right?
Right on.
And then
Any
we've-
sort of
any excuse to go to
Gathering.
the Tremont Tavern
Yep,
and
yep.
grab a beer and a burger, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it's just natural.
it
you
is
know?
natural. And then,
Same
and
stage
it's
of
just
life.
and I think
No.
what works for our friendship is we're both very career and object motivated, right? Or some we want to tackle the task at hand,
Right.
Yeah.
and
right.
that does not necessarily consist of us hanging out all the time.
No,
Right?
I'm very guilty of that as
Yeah.
like a person. It's like I will, I'm never the first one to reach out, you know.
Exactly.
And but I don't have to have that in a friendship
Right.
either, you know. Like
Sure.
I'll pick up right where I left off,
That's
no
me.
matter what it is. So if
Yeah.
it's once every 6 months or 6 days later, it doesn't matter. It's
Exactly.
all the same.
So is there something that causes you to want to reach out sometimes? Like, I know that there's
Dude.
like friendships like a
Yeah.
dance. Like sometimes there's seasons where you're reaching out more. Sometimes there's seasons
Feel
where
a
they're
random
reaching
size
out more.
Right. Yeah,
That's right.
But
So I
some-
said I just turn on the Brandon beacon. I just shine on the light, and then and all it is a pack of Marlboro lights. He just comes running out of the
What?
corner.
Where?
Yeah.
Huh?
Listen, all the homies does not condone smoking, and it's just, it's just
At
a
all.
joke. It's
I've
just
never
a joke,
smoked.
y'all.
Ever in my life.
Big
Yeah.
tobacco.
That's right.
But yeah, I've noticed that in friendships. Like, I feel like me and Jay kind of have this balance. Me and Brandon have this balance. And the better that you can balance it, the more
Yeah.
yin and yang you got, the better the friendship is. Because, like, I know there's a lot of times that, like, I'll have a crazy season in my life where I'm unable to reach out or be present as much or even have the capacity to think about things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then your homie might be going through a time where maybe things are a little more relaxed or they're just in a spot where they can. And I think it's learning how to balance that, but also just understanding each other. Friendship in general, like I remember one of my best friends, Willie. I've mentioned him before because we grew up together, inherent friend, but we used to butt heads all the time. I mean, butt heads all the time. We were both leaders. We both wanted, you know what I'm saying? We were both butt heads.
Word.
And anyway, we got to the point where we just learned, like, hey, we need to have some grace with each other, man. And sometimes we're going to be able to hang out, and sometimes we can't.
Right.
And we just want what's best for the other person. And when you get that, I think that's when friendships flow, you know?
No doubt.
I will say, I think all my best friendships are ones that they know, like, I'm always down, but they know they have to reach out. You know, it's like for me, because and I think like you said, it's with work. Like I always have something I could be doing.
Right.
Like I'm always like grinding, not in like I'm a hustler kind of way, but it's like
this day.
Yeah, it's like being in a like owning a small business, like you're always working. So if I'm not working,
it's always a trade off.
Yeah.
Like I could be spending this time financially, gaining from this.
Exactly.
I think the biggest driver for me is we will be very good friends if I don't have to worry about texting you to make you feel like you're loved. You know what I mean?
It's not my job. We're buddies. You know?
You should know I love texting from this guy. You ain't getting it. You ain't getting it, boy. I'm gonna tell you right now.
It's not gonna happen. And it's not like it's of no offense. I just don't text anybody back.
Right.
And it's because I probably got. Where's my phone? I probably have right now.
Oh, it's disgusting.
300 unread text messages.
I would die.
I've got
I cannot
210 unread text messages.
You're just like, that's for later.
Well, it's because I know if it's urgent, someone will call me. If it's something to like do or to hang out, right? Someone will call me. But if it's a text,
you should just turn notifications off on your
honestly,
you should just get a flip phone, bro.
For
get
real.
a Nokia.
But
you charge it once every
he's a
3
tech
weeks.
boy, though.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I always have the new phone. I love the new tech product, but like I didn't grow up. I grew up where text messaging cost 10 cents a message because my parents wouldn't buy a text plan.
Okay.
So I was trained from a young age.
Probably because they didn't trust you with a text plan.
As well, they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, I think 1 month I racked up like a $200 texting bill. Right?
You're
You were just texting
the
girls.
13-year-old.
Like, I got it handed to me so good
I'm
that
sure.
I was just like, I'm never texting anybody ever again.
Remember when it used to be calls? You had call minutes.
You had know? You could text
before texting.
After 9,
it was free after.
Oh, dude, that's the generation we grew up in.
Crazy world.
So I grew up where texting was discouraged. Now I only text if it's work-related reasons or if it's Bethany.
Fair.
And then when cash, it'll be cash, right?
Nice.
You can get cash on all the homies.
Dude, just sit him in here and let him.
He just bounce. He just sit here and bounce. That's what he would do.
Vibe of an episode for sure.
Right, so this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's right. He'd be an amazing host.
So what you been up to, man? Like I know, we catch up, but not very often. What's day-to-day life been like for you? Been hitting the gym? What you been up to? I
think I said no.
I just wanted to hear it. I just wanted to hear it.
I did have a moment of clarity. We were talking about this on the ride up.
Yeah, true.
I had a moment of clarity where I was going and trying on some new like summer clothes or whatever. I needed a couple of new shirts.
Yeah.
And I was in the changing room and I kind of saw curves I had never seen before. And I was like,
what's this?
Wait a minute.
What's happening? All right. So I'm trying to get on a healthier kick. I'm drinking more water, which, I mean, for me is a huge...
Well, that's a good step.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, anything's a good step.
That's right. Joe Rogan's got me on the Athletic Greens. So
okay.
I love that product.
That's my favorite thing that people who don't work out really much say. Well, we used to kill it back in the day.
Did.
I will give you that before I flame.
Like y'all are grinding right now.
Yeah.
Y'all are grinding
but my favorite thing that people who don't work out anymore say is, I've been drinking water. like basically, you know what? My first step to getting fit is drinking water. Bro, you need that to live.
Yeah, really. That's essential.
You know what I'm saying?
For
like,
life.
we haven't even walked to the gym yet. You haven't even got out your car yet and got to the gym. Just drink the water,
good for you, bro.
I-
Most people do not.
That's what I'm saying, just
at
trying.
all, and you feel so much
Is
better.
that a new thing?
I
Like, I feel like
mean,
water is prioritized now.
When we were kids, it was drink milk.
Yeah,
That's right, drink
Now
milk.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It
It's
just
'cause
seems weird.
Now we're all lactose.
Because they got
Yeah.
fluoride in the water.
Hey, there's that, but also like even we were raised on the generation where Coca-Cola got their main big advertisement right on TV. Nickelodeon and Disney had like soda ads and, and Lunchable ads and all that stuff.
Well,
we grew up on a generation where any food was healthy food.
That's
right.
fair. Like
Yeah,
breakfast.
finish your
big
plate.
breakfast is a lie, dude.
Big breakfast. Who nobody's eating French toast every day, but for the longest time you could have been convinced that there at one point my mom was making pancakes every morning.
You know the FDA.
And you're saying that like as a bad thing?
It was not a bad thing at the time. I really enjoyed it, but like it wasn't healthy, right?
Right. sugary
I grew up on McDonald's. My
cereals.
granddad
Yeah.
used to take me into the back of the McDonald's to let me make just whatever.
Hey man,
You know what I mean?
What?
Like,
Get
What?
out.
You know
Yeah.
what?
What?
You know,
Yeah.
my parents couldn't even take me to Build-A-Bear, but your grandpa got you a Build-A
Build a McDonald's.
You went to
Build
the
a
back
Big
and
Mac
did
over
whatever you
here.
want. Oh
It
my
was,
God.
but that's
He
like
actually
that's
invented the Big Mac.
Oh my goodness.
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions on sesame.
Look at this guy.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
crazy. But yeah, you were saying the FDA. The FDA is on crack.
Yeah, well, dude, they've said that like a bowl of Captain Crunch
I
is
saw that.
better
Healthier
than
than eggs or
than
something.
eggs.
Well, I
It's
knew
just
they
like-
were messed up when a couple years ago they released a study that margarine. Is that how you say it? Margarine? That butter?
Yeah, butter.
Yeah, that
Same.
it's like all synthetic.
Yeah.
Was healthier than coconut oil, and that
Dude, it's
coconut oil
crazy.
can cause heart disease.
Dude, I knew the FDA was corrupt when I read federal in the title. and I
Yeah,
was like,
that's how you knew, like,
done.
oh, it's a government institution?
Oh, that's
Don't
right.
trust
There's
it.
no
Yeah.
way this works well.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I would rather, honestly, if y'all ever watch Parks and Rec,
We don't.
The Ron Swanson. Anybody out there that knows Parks
I love
and
Ron
Rec?
Swanson,
Ron
so,
Swanson.
yeah.
That's
That
kind
is
of
you.
like that's
Yeah.
that's coming to fruition.
Yes,
Like
yes.
everybody's skepticism of the government. It's happening now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I feel like Parks
Yeah,
and
but
Rec
this-
is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He was on The Last of Us, bro.
He was. What a
Dude, that episode.
What an episode.
12 out of 10.
That was-
I have never
Whoa.
been so invested in my life
Yeah,
in that
but,
episode.
but The Last of Us, they underpay women and child actors, bro.
Stop.
So I don't know what y'all are talking
Wait,
about,
what?
bro.
This
I
is
haven't
the
heard
greatest-
this. Yeah.
But that was Ron Swanson. That's what
It was.
happened.
That was
Yeah.
Ron
It was
Swanson.
him.
But it was just the whole episode was
It
magic.
was beautiful. It
And
was
then
beautiful.
Crazy
It
how it
was.
pulled you in. You start off, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and like you kind of see it coming, you don't see it coming, and then when as the episode develops, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. You're kind of
Nah, it's been
skeptical
out.
of how like that episode's gonna. They make it perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was gold. It
They
was
make
gold.
perfect.
Bro, you
That-
need to spend less time watching The Last of Us
Stop.
and more time in the gym. That's all I got to say,
He's
bro.
drinking water, dude.
Oh, he's drinking water. Oh, you have been drinking water though, bro. Okay, I
yeah,
got
we
you.
we just
And
just
athletic
came on here to
greens.
make
Look,
fun of you.
Bro, you
athletic-
could
athletic
probably bench
greens-
315 right
That
now
probably.
because of that water.
Athletic greens, it's in the title. Athletic. I'm doing something athletic.
That's true.
Right?
Sure.
So take me on that. And then between that last, do y'all watch Succession at all?
I need to get into it.
Oh, the last episode of Succession and The Last of Us are two of the greatest.
I haven't finished The Last of Us yet. I think I'm like episode 8.
Not the last episode. That episode of The Last.
Oh, that
That
episode.
episode.
Gotcha.
I
That
have
one's
been watching
fantastic.
White Lotus though.
Hadn't watched
All
it.
right, the first season is wild. The second season is the craziest show maybe I've ever seen. It's like the most egregious.
It's just like each season is centered around a human fault,
It is. It's
basically.
one of the-
Have you
it's
seen
one of the
Black
7
Mirror?
deadly sins.
Oh, dude,
Dude,
Black
Black
Mirror,
Mirror,
come on.
12 out of 10.
That is
That's
something
amazing.
nuts.
I wish that's one of those shows I wish I could erase my mind and rewatch. it.
Right.
It
Yeah,
is
agreed.
so
But
good.
it's like Black Mirror, but it's more so centered in like it's like based around a hotel, right? Different hotels in
Okay, I'm
different
gonna have
parts
to
of the
watch it
world.
then, so.
But it's like humans indulging or being like trying to break or discipline their like cravings and like their
Interesting.
nature. So like some people are like more geared this way,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows how like to me at least the first season was that the excuse
Everybody
me,
baby.
sucks.
but the first season showed me that it was kind of like nobody really changes except a small amount of people.
Gotcha.
Like as many people that want to
no
change
amount of water
cannot
can do
change
it?
as much water as you drink, Brandon. I swear you're gonna have to get in the gym. But
Go to the gym at Bucky's.
it's probably
This is my job.
exactly. But I think it's a cool show, man, because it's like all about like human desire and human wanting to change and like what humans are at the core. And there's no like solid like plot line. You know what I'm saying? Where because usually I'm watching the show and I can anticipate everything,
right.
Black Mirror made me question my
So
humanity
good.
a
So
little
good.
bit,
Yes.
right? Just
Yes.
because there's some things on there that are being framed as bad that I'm like, actually, I gotta get on board with this, right?
You know why it's called Black Mirror?
you know what
it
episode?
reflects the dark.
If you
it's
don't know
beautiful.
this is an amazing thing. The reason Black Mirror is called the show or the name that it is because your phone when turned off or your laptop when turned off is a black mirror.
Yeah.
So it's all about like the thing that you're using to look at. So like the social ranking system, China's already doing that.
Yep.
So they kind of called their shot on that one. The White Bear episode, did y'all ever see
so
that?
good. So good.
That I genuinely like. That's a great idea.
Which one's the
for
White
mass
Bear?
The
killers.
one
We should do
where no spoiler, but well, it's gonna be a spoiler.
Right.
So,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's
If
old,
you haven't
it's
seen it
old
by
enough.
now,
yeah.
what are you doing?
So this woman killed a bunch of people, and her punishment is she has to relive being killed every day of her
Oh,
life.
yeah.
When she goes to sleep,
Hunted
she
and
wakes up
killed
hunted.
every
Yeah.
single
And she doesn't
day.
know why.
Yeah, I
She
remember
doesn't know
that.
why.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
that
know
one
what?
was crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's a
that
fair
one was
punishment.
crazy.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I think one of the coolest things is like Jay used to tell me this back in the day. But I don't know how you guys believe as far as like how the world was created and if we had been catastrophically doomed before in the past and had crazy technology.
Oh, dude, I can get
But
way
one of the
deep
things
into
Jay,
this. I love
one
this
of the
crap,
things
dude.
that Jay used to say is when you had all these like poetry throughout the years and stories about like he would say, for instance, mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me who's the greatest of them all or whatever. That he said that actually reflected somebody speaking to Siri on a black mirror.
I think it was, like
It could, it could show that there was
Yo.
technology that was before that wasn't carried
Interesting.
through, because even like the pyramids and
Oh,
stuff
dude,
like
well,
that.
humans have been around
nuts.
for what, like 3,000 years that we know of?
Yeah.
There is no, if the world is like billions of years old, we have nuked ourselves about 1,000 times,
Right.
I'm sure.
For sure. If it is
And the
millions of
pyramids,
years
dude,
old, for
when
sure.
you look at the pyramids, one, there is no explanation for how they were built. They're also perfect.
Yeah.
And have you
The
looked at like
cuts
the
on the stone.
And they have no way to date them.
They're perfectly
That's
cold.
the problem.
Yeah.
They can't date them. Like carbon dating has to be done on something that's like organically
Right.
decaying.
And you can't.
Right?
Yeah.
And they can do the tools and stuff in between, but they're
Right.
like they're finding different stuff and there's no way
No.
to actually date it.
There's a lot.
And it's so much
Well, the
just
fact there are pyramids all over the globe.
Yes, that's
Everywhere,
another thing. That's
right?
crazy.
Right.
Without any form of communication. I mean,
and on the
we could-
dollar,
Yeah, that's
there's a
weird.
pyramid.
Yeah, that's weird.
On the dollar.
On the dollar,
Straight
there's a
up.
pyramid with an eye on the top. Come on, bro.
It is-
You can't tell me that,
It is.
You know what?
It's not
Same
real.
thing.
They know, bro.
Same thing.
They know. They them know, bro.
They them
You know what I'm saying? Like
They're a
that,
genderless entity.
that's the thing is like
Oh, we're going full lizard
to
people.
me,
aren't we?
reptilians, bro. Have
Yeah.
you seen the freaking Vatican? Have
Dude.
you seen the Vatican?
Dude, that's another
Come
thing.
on
They
now.
got all the archives
Come on,
of the
bro.
Vatican. They got
Come
all
on.
sorts of
I want to
stuff.
visit.
Yeah,
Bring us out,
they
bro.
won't let you.
I'm
They
taking.
won't let
I'm
you.
taking a witness though.
If
If you're
an-
bringing me out,
If an
Vatican.
advanced alien civilization were to invade the Earth and they wanted
They're
to
about to come
control the
busting in these
population-
windows.
Yeah, all
and
of a
just, yeah,
sudden,
we're about to
like,
get
this is
pegged
not-
on
this is
tax
never gonna
evasion or
make it to the
something.
internet. Never. If they wanted to kind of sleuthily sneak their way in, what better thing to do than to go to the center of civilization and create a city in the middle that's private to you and put all of your artifacts, vault secrets in that
Yep.
one place and
Yep.
no one can access it.
Yep.
Yeah, but the thing is like there's just so much evidence, even historically, even religiously, in so many different religions about great resets.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to a podcast the other day and they talked about like the polar flips that happen and that they happen in 6 days. Boom, polar flip for 6 days, and then on the seventh day. Sorry, it resets.
Beating that
on the
mic.
on the seventh day it resets,
Yeah.
and so it's like you have these like just for instance in Genesis where it's
Dude,
like God
I was
created
gonna
this on the
say
first
that.
day, the second
Oh,
day,
When you look-
third day,
come
fifth day,
on.
When
sixth
you
day.
look at like all these
Okay.
conspiracy apocalypse,
Yeah.
reset, yada yada, and then you take it into the biblical context, it's like,
Oh,
wait a
bro.
minute,
Bro,
it
and,
adds
and
up.
the thing is,
Yeah,
it's,
it's like-
not
it's-
even
it's-
it's not
it's-
even conspiracy.
No, no.
It was called the Adam and Eve documents.
Yeah.
and it was a
Yeah.
document that was studied by the FBI and the CIA in like the mid 1900s or something.
we
that
need to
was
go for about
actually
another hour and a
I'm
half.
about to say,
Like I can do it all day.
Actually,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Actually, it was
Oh, we're good.
declassified that they were actually sinking money and studying this thing about the polar flips because that's
Interesting.
and you talk if you've seen Elon talk on podcasts and stuff, he said that's like what he fears the most, the polar flips. He said even the polar they're not even right now, like they're
Yeah.
due for a
Right.
flip.
We're going after a very niche audience on this podcast, which are
And they will
which are
stay.
gamblers.
Yeah.
which are gambling, God-fearing conspiracy theories.
And you know what? I think those are my favorite
That's
kind
like,
of people.
that's like most of the people on the right side of the spectrum. Right?
No, listen, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, there's so much evidence in the world to say, like, what we know is history and what we understand to be the timeline of humanity might not actually be the
Dude,
timeline.
we
And
know what the big they want us to know.
exactly,
Wow.
and even the stuff you see in hieroglyphics and stuff that make absolutely no sense, like flying saucer type looking things, and just the way that they built these civilizations, and just what this whole timeline has led up to now. Like, we think we're so advanced, we think
Bro,
that nothing.
AI already took over and we didn't even know it.
Well, dude,
be.
talking about
We're already in the-
Elon.
we're
when
already in the
have
Matrix.
you listened to the episode with Elon and Rogan when he was like, "Oh, it's too late. When
Yeah,
talking about
that's what I'm
AI,
saying.
he's like, it's like it's already
If
We won't
cat's out of the
know
bag.
it if it hasn't taken over
If
already.
what
we're
we
not
have
gonna-
access
probably
to
has.
for free already exists, imagine
They've had it for 50 years.
Imagine what either
100%.
like the military has or
Yep.
the original like ChatGPT 4 is already ready for mass release, but they're not going to give it out yet because it's a little bit too scary. Okay, that's what they're willing to show.
Right.
How far along are they? Like,
Oh,
who has already
dude.
like has it already passed the Turing test? Like,
Yeah.
how advanced is this technology?
Are we in a matrix? That's
That's
another
what
good
I'm-
one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like,
You
Are we
get to the
plugged
beginning
in?
of the Matrix, like the time that they're talking
Trying to
about
rip
everything.
out
That's what
It's
I'm
right
saying.
now.
Yeah, like, what? Come on, give me that.
Yeah.
I think
it's in the Bucky's tail. For sure. That's where yours is at.
this is how you know. Me being in this suit is definitely Matrix.
Well, I mean, you look at Matrix, and it could mean so many different things. Like just the fact that if you know, whatever you believe in, like God, whatever you believe in, okay, so creates you, and then when your eternal body dies, right, you get unplugged.
Right.
So I mean,
Same,
anything
yeah.
could be a Matrix.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
just words. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
this is a rabbit hole that we could.
I
Go
love
down
it.
For
I love it.
Let's go.
And ever and ever.
I'm ready for it.
I mean, I've always struggled with this idea that humans have only been around for 6,000 years,
There's no way.
right? And like, I also think it limits God's ability.
I agree.
Right? To say like, oh, it had to have been done in 7 24-hour
Well,
sun
okay,
cycle
I don't think the
days.
days were days.
Well, I was
Right.
gonna say that's
It
a
could have
ma-
been a bit millenniums.
days is a
You know what I'm saying?
man-made.
Concept.
It
Yes.
could have been a
Yeah.
freaking 24-hour period, or it could have been 1 second.
Yeah.
Or it
Who
could have been
knows?
billions of years, and
Yeah.
God
Right.
said, "Let there be light," and then over
Well,
the
I like
course
to
of
think that like science like proves all of it anyway. Like a day, like the way he's woven himself into creation, the way
Totally.
science and all that works, it's like all the little molecules started to grow life and then turned into grass and then turned into trees,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
all started out of the ocean, just like it talks
I
about.
know.
it in
If
the
you ever
creation
doubt a
account.
creator, just look at the life of a honeybee, dude.
Yeah.
It
Oh
is
my God.
Yeah.
unbelievable. Because when I was in middle school, we raised honeybees, and when we would pull out the honeycomb, just a million perfect little hexagons,
Right.
and it's
It's
just
insane.
perfect, like down to every detail. It's just crazy.
And you've got these like animals that have evolved to look like other animals or
Right.
things or all that. Like
Right.
that doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen on accident.
No,
right?
Right.
So
no.
it's. I think that there is a spot in which evolution and creationism
There's
can
a-
exist
yes,
in harmony.
I totally
Yeah, for
agree.
sure.
And like the thing I'm always like put at
Well,
ease by-
evolution's a buzzword. You know,
Right,
At this
exactly,
point,
yeah.
You could say adaptation, and you're like, oh, okay,
Right,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense. We
that's-
say evolution, people
It's
like,
like,
oh,
Yeah.
God.
yeah, it's. I think I love the idea that if God wanted to breathe life into something, that He chose something that He had already created and breathed life into it, and that created intelligence. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like intelligence is the life that He breathed, the ability to pursue
Yeah,
a
the idea
relationship
of
with Him.
intelligence.
Right,
Right,
a soul
right.
is what He breathed into us,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
And anytime I talk about this with like anybody in my family
You're
or
like-
anybody, they're like,
You're going to hell.
"That's yeah." It's kind of met with that resistance where it's just like you're off your rocker.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But I feel
they
like the
come
majority of us share
Yes.
a similar belief.
Well,
Yeah.
our parents' generation, at least in the church, now we're getting like really
Yeah, here
niched
we
down.
go. That's
But
right.
It's all
but
good.
it's
Were your parents in the church again?
it's fire it's fire and brimstone, you know. So they were like, oh, you do something wrong, you're going to hell, and then so that's how they were raised. And
Yeah.
then we were raised on the other side of like, oh,
Yeah.
you're giving grace. It's like you do your best, yada yada yada. So we might be a little bit too loose with our morals and
we
what,
might.
what we accept.
Well, and the thing
But
is,
because our parents were
nobody-
too,
Strict.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody knows or has actually any proof of anything, right? So
Right.
Exactly.
we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Jay, what was, because we grew up in a household very similar,
Yes.
right? Legacy and all that stuff. What was your household like growing up in that kind of like traditional sense?
Very different than it is now. I think my parents were a lot more. They like nobody drank, nobody did anything like
Same.
that. We
bunch of redheads,
bunch of redheads.
skater boys.
We were allowed to watch like Harry Potter versus my cousins were not. I couldn't say fart when I was a kid, but like they. You know,
Yeah, same.
But I think
Hey,
like,
cut that out.
it
Cut
was-
that. Yeah, bleep
hey,
him out on
you
that
don't say
one.
that's a cuss
That's
word.
rude.
But I think you know, 08 hit my family really, really hard. So I think they had bigger problems like during that time. And so after that, like growing up, I just started being more open and just having conversations. And I think that's where wisdom grows and just understanding forms. So yeah, it was definitely pretty conservative. They've come a long way, but they still are rooted in that. But I'm thankful for that for sure.
Yeah.
It's important because it makes us who we are, right? Like who we were raised by, and like regardless whether or not we agree with some of the methodology, it was done with love, and like that's
Right.
not a luxury everybody gets.
True.
Right?
True.
And so I'm always I always look back and I'm somewhat critical, but somehow at the same time very thankful for the ways. Like, my parents did a great job protecting me by, like, do y'all remember the Focus on the Family brand that did, like, Adventures in Odyssey?
Yes.
Like, all of
Yes.
that. And they had, like, a website where you could go and type in a movie and it'd be like, this movie says...
That was essentially like the new Bible.
That's
for
right, yeah,
media.
it was right. If I wanted to go see a movie, it didn't matter if it was, like...
Chronicles of
Mario.
Narnia?
Yeah,
Yes.
Chronicles of
The
Narnia.
Golden Compass? No.
That's right. That's exactly right. Golden Compass is all about
It's the same movie.
That's right. It's the same exact movie, right? Talking animals and everything.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it's that, like, my mom, if it was Spider-Man, PG movie, go to Focus on the Family. Hey, they say the D word 8 times, right? They say the A word 4 times. You're not going to that movie. Mom, I'm 17 years old. You're not going to that movie.
Bro, you're lucky though, because like my family is from the Middle East and we didn't have computers. So I mean, you could be glad that you at least had a computer.
Donate, you grew up in Dalton. This is not a third world country.
Listen,
Dalton has gigabyte internet on billboards outside. All right, we drove in.
That's true.
Last episode you talked about that you were on here. You talked about how your job out of college was here.
Yeah.
Stop.
It is the carpet
Well,
capital
to be
of the
fair,
world.
It is.
his
I made a lot of
experience
paying for
was
carpet mills.
Very different.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because his parents were first generation.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, I mean, just imagine this, okay? Imagine that for some reason you're Russian, right, or something, and you're moving to a country, your family's moving to a country, and you were born in a different country, and you moved to America, right? And let's just say that the Russians at the time were just bombing your country. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a very different view about the rest of the world and like their entertainment and their sports and stuff like that. Not saying that was the case.
Especially in that time
that's
from
right.
2000 to 2015.
Please do not let me discredit your worldview is invaluable. But saying I grew up without technology is a lie. That's just not
Bro,
true.
we didn't have a kitchen table, man. We ate on the floor. Like, Martha
That
will
can
tell
be
you.
true, and you still have technology in your life. You're
I'm just playing.
She's shaking her head.
We had
That's
a
not
kitchen
what-
table.
Yeah, you drive a Tesla now, my God. Don't even come at me.
You
with
poor
that.
thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Times are good now.
That's right.
God bless America. But, back in the day.
He's
No,
wearing
but
Lewis Hamilton's latest drip.
Yeah.
Driving a Tesla. Man, I grew up without technology.
right. Listen.
He's
no,
on a podcast. He's hosting a podcast.
Right. Listen, all I'm saying is this, okay? We're all humans. We don't know where we came from. And at the end of the day, I feel like some people, like your parents, like they are the way they are because you are I've always liked to say, like, you're a product of your environment,
100%.
right? Like, just like
100%.
my grandfather, when he was in the Middle East being raised, like, he was basically an orphan. He did the best that he could. Yeah, did sometimes he treat my grandmother not right? Yeah, but, that's just what it
Product
was.
of the
Like,
environment. Yeah, totally.
sometimes you're a product of the environment. You always have the choice to do better than your environment or do worse. And you see that all the time. Like, people whose
Absolutely.
families struggle with, like, their father was an alcoholic or anything like that. Like, sometimes the kid turns into an alcoholic, and sometimes they never want to be what they saw in their family.
That's why
Exactly.
the victim mentality is so BS, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
Everybody wants to be a victim.
We all have trauma.
And no discredit to people who are actually real victims and stuff, but
For sure. But
it is
The
popular
choice is
to
still
be a
there.
victim
You can
right
rise
now.
above or let it sink you.
yeah,
Right.
we all have trauma. We're all broken. That's why we need Jesus.
Exactly.
But at the same
Exactly.
time, like, there are some people with worse trauma than others.
True.
But if you have people that love you, like I've learned recently by having good friends and a good family, that's really all you need.
No, that's all you
Right.
need.
But really, we don't know where we come from at the same time because, you look at all these things that we can comprehend, whether you look at religion or science, and you see things and there's always these outliers like, well, what about this? And nobody
Right.
can explain it,
Right.
Well,
Well,
and I
the
think when
entire idea of like race,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you can biblically track it back to Tower of Babel,
Yeah.
right? But even
I
then,
love that, bro.
but even then, like with like Mesopotamia, Judea, all there at one point we were all the same, and then from that it grew.
Bro, I
So,
think Tower of Babel was like Pangea breaking apart.
Agreed.
Yes,
Wholeheartedly agree.
could be, bro.
could line up
be.
with Noah's Ark
hot
too.
at the
When it
And
when
that's what
everything was
exactly,
flooded, then
and that's what they said is because with the polar flip, like I was talking about, they said that it, like in the scripture, it says that the waters came from the ground, came up. They didn't say it rained. Like
Right.
there's
That's
this
right.
concept that it
Came
rained, that
up.
it came up through the ground, through the whatever in the ground. And so with the polar
rained
flip,
too,
it
though,
causes.
right?
Yeah.
I'm
Because
sure.
they never saw rain.
It rained for
before
40
that.
days and 40 nights.
Right, but it said the waters came up, and so that is like what happens in a polar flip is the water comes up and it starts to just consume everything. So I mean, there's a lot of like ties
Right
that you
now,
can tie.
all the everywhere's like flooding a lot more, and they're
Dude.
saying global
Oh,
warming
dude,
and
have you seen
everything, but-
about like Euphrates, like the rivers drying up, and that's in
even
Revelation?
that-
I'm like, oh, buddy,
Yeah,
here
oh,
we
gosh.
go.
I think Tower of Babel 2.0 may be the Dubai's taking on a new project that's going to outpace the Burj Khalifa.
Oh, is it that line city? Or is that what you're
So
talking
the
about?
line
that's
is a
in
whole
Saudi.
different.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. But the Burj Khalifa is like the tallest building in the world, and they're about to build another one that's like 20 or 30 stories taller
Yeah.
than the Burj
Why?
Khalifa.
Just
Because
because.
they're trying to get that.
Gotta
Bro,
have oxygen masks on the top floor.
Bro,
They are
seriously.
always doing the most over there in that
They
part
are.
of the world.
But
They
you know
are
what?
always.
If you're financing the entire world economy because you have that much oil, you kind
Go
of get
for
to
it.
build
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you
you
want.
get to-
That
you get to
line
play.
project, I'll
Yeah.
be the first one to sign up to go. Because that sounds
Oh, see, no.
dope.
That
See,
sounds
that's where we
horrible.
differ. Yeah, I never.
Because
That-
you're
that
out there
thing's
in the
gonna-
middle of the
Yep,
desert
yep.
Take
and
me to the tower.
fully
Yeah.
under the control of some kingdom.
Brandon's
You
gonna
know
get
what I'm
out to
saying?
the line. The lights are gonna cut off. He's gonna, oh my god,
Bro, you're gonna see,
I can't get home now.
see me on a four-wheeler in the desert coming to pick you up.
He's gonna be
get you,
Waterworld.
Brandon.
He's
I'm
gonna
coming
be
to
Kevin
get you.
Costner in
Totally would.
Waterworld.
If I ever got abandoned for whatever reason, if anything bad ever happened, I was in the Middle East. Without even having to make the call, I can count on the fact that Done is already 5
Chopper
hours
is
on his
flying.
way. Before I realize I'm lost, Done will already.
Bro,
be
I
out.
will literally be at the gym just repping 315 as I do. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, I think Brandon needs me. And then just get up,
Spidey
get my
Yeah,
gear.
my Brandon
bags
sense
up,
is
Call
tingling.
one of your cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you to go.
Yeah. Hey, you still got that helicopter, bro? I need a ride.
Tall white guy,
Dude,
good beard. That's
Yeah.
him. Grab him.
Looks a little bit like Luke Bryan. That's your man.
It's a long time. That was about 20 pounds ago. I was sort of
Yeah. Yeah, your Luke Bryan face was lit, man. But, dude, good to have you guys.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, let's go ahead and get into our little fashion show. What do you think? So we got my boy Grant from the Sandlot Vintage.
Shout out to
Um,
him.
yes.
Is a fashion icon in the world that we know these days, and so
Just not.
definitely into conspiracies and pyramids and timelines, but also just slaying it at fashion.
Slaying
He's
it.
going to be our judge today. He's wearing some of his very own fashion, you know, and we got our boy Brandon Ramsey over here, Jay Little over here, and me. So he is going to be.
I didn't know this was going to be like a competition, or I didn't even.
Yeah,
know
we
you
left
were
it as a
in
kind of a surprise,
Bro,
you
you
know.
cheated, bro.
You know, that's the thing, bro. It's like I feel like in this journey, we're gonna have to surprise each other. You know what I'm saying? A little
For
bit.
sure.
It's kind of like marriage after like 20 years, right? You got to bring the
Spice it up.
surprises out,
Marry
right?
the
Old flame.
homies, you know?
Right? You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start, you know, playing some games and stuff every now and
I like
again.
pop.
Before we play the game, can I get one? Can you explain to me Grateful Dead, the connection that you
Yes.
have, Levi's, like that whole, like that is
It-
one thing.
honestly-
one of my favorite things about your professional journey is that.
Well, so I don't even know how I was found. I just got an email out of the blue one day.
The government.
From probably.
From
Yeah.
the Illuminati.
And so Levi's and the Grateful Dead, they were doing, they're on their last tour right now. And so last year when they started it, Levi's did a collab with them, released some really cool like jean jackets, shirts, shorts and stuff. And they reached out to me and they're like, hey, do you want to promote this new clothing line? And
Let's
I was
go.
like, do I
No
get to keep
way.
the clothes? And they're like, yes, and we're going to pay you. And I was like,
Oh,
sign me up. Yeah.
You didn't even
So,
need
yeah,
me.
exactly. Yeah.
Joke's on you, bro.
So I just made a little like promo video for him, and it was super fun, and it wasn't any like grand venture or anything, but it was cool.
Grant's the kind of guy that you have to remind him that he's made it to 1 million TikTok followers. And
Right.
that,
It doesn't make it.
and that's-
any-
that's
no,
how you know
and
he-
his
that's how you
reaction
know he's
is
a real
genuine,
one.
where he's like, "Oh, I did."
Yeah.
That's how you
like,
know he's real.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like same thing with
It's
the
a
collab.
number
Like
on a screen,
he
dude.
passively mentioned it like it was him saying, "Man, I'm cold." Like he said it in that same timbre.
Are you really cold though?
No, but
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like he
Yeah, I got
that was
you.
great in here, especially
Yeah,
with
it's
this team.
fantastic.
That was really convincing. You should go to that.
That's right.
You're the next Brad Pitt, bro.
That is not true. Even though, have y'all seen Bullet Train?
I haven't yet.
haven't.
Is it?
That
I heard
is
it was great.
One of my. That's like up there with Fury. In my
Is
opinion.
he eating
Oh,
the whole
dude,
time? in that
Fury,
one, or no?
talk about a
He's
good
not,
movie.
no, he's.
I wish
Brad
that was
Pitt
my thing.
is
Just
like-
like being on camera and just
Like eating,
Bro,
yeah.
I wish. That'd
That's
be an
acting
amazing
right
game.
there.
That's right.
All right, so basically how this game is going to work is my boy Grant, he is going to be our judge. He's going to pick his favorite outfit, and he's going to pick the worst outfit, okay? So if you get picked as the favorite, you are the winner. You win for the day, okay? You can take that home with you, feel good
this
about
thing is
yourself.
rigged.
Yeah,
And
really.
then-
I didn't know I was doing that.
And if you are the loser, then you get pied in the face.
Nice.
So we'll let Grant do the pieing. And
Well,
All right, that hat is part of my outfit. So is the Jimmy's poster.
oh shoot! If the Jimmy
Bro,
poster
this is
is in,
reversible. Come on.
okay.
We
Jay was-
all
Jay
gotta,
was
like,
trying to
are we
sell me on
selling
it. Yeah.
Are we convincing him now?
Yeah,
If
I might
if you
have
pick
to.
me as the loser, that is highly racist.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, dude. I can't
Okay.
pick that.
Play.
I just want to say that since we're doing convincing.
Well, the problem is, I'm the real loser because I am the bad guy.
Yeah, you are.
So
You have to be the bad guy today.
the problem
You are
is,
the biggest loser.
I am the biggest loser. Well, I
You
can't,
were a loser.
obviously
You were a
can't
loser
pick you.
Listen, walk us
before.
through your ideas of the fits. Show us that
Okay,
fashion
okay.
mind. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
So here's what I'm walking through. All right, traditional garb.
Yeah,
cannot
for sure.
Cannot hate on it, no matter
Worn
what.
by my ancestors.
Yeah, exactly. Poor
That
Mike.
microphone
Yeah.
cannot catch a break.
As far as fashion goes,
Smack
the
it, smack
the
it.
Buc-ee's onesie, the one fit. I mean, it's almost so bold.
I know, it's like a
that
trump card.
yes, it is. It is.
It
It's like it takes
I
some
can't believe you
gumption
said
to do
Trump,
that.
bro.
My tail
And, okay, flash the kicks though. The kicks have something to do with it. I mean, look at
The
that.
Scorpions.
I mean, one ice clean on them too.
How much
And-
were those? $10?
oh my gosh.
Wait, I'm kicking the tail.
the problem is the Jimmy poster.
Mm.
If that almost sets because Jimi Hendrix.
It plays.
I mean,
But
it
is he
play-
wearing it?
Jimmy.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, look, this dude's dressed as a beaver. You know what I'm saying?
He's pushing the agenda
He
here.
is.
Is he
really
got a
is.
tail? Does he have a
So-
tail?
I
Do
think
you have a
he's
tail?
got
Okay.
stock in Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. All right. I'm not gonna do the pieing. You have to pie J Little.
Oh!
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'll take it.
Let's go, Jay!
This is on donate.
I feel like we brought two. I feel like we brought two trump cards right here.
You're not wasting any.
Man, I would have busted out some crazy fit. You crazy. I have like a
This is the biggest
I have a
conspiracy of them
banana
all.
costume.
I think I actually just
Somebody was getting high off of that at the grocery store.
Bro, this is the
At least, like,
weakest
let me
can
suck
of
out
whipped
the
cream
rest-
I've ever
the
seen.
rest
Don't ever
of
buy
Yeah,
it.
the good stuff. Yeah.
Get
We're
a
gonna-
little buzz going.
All right.
All right,
Here we go.
you can.
Ew, now it's
Don't
wet.
break my nose. He's gonna be like,
Yeah, just go light.
how close do I need to get right
I'm
now?
gonna make it very.
No, hold on. There's a towel.
Hey, take your sunglasses off, brother.
I know.
The hair
yeah,
too. That
Hey,
that
you need a
hurts.
scrunchie? I got you.
Scrunchie me? Alright.
It's all part of the conspiracy.
It's all part of the conspiracy, bro.
I didn't know it had a tail, Brandon.
Yeah, that's what I said. That was good.
That's it. That's a nice
Why are you
touch.
trying to hurt me?
You get a pile
What I
drive
do
of
to
it.
deserve this? Let me button.
Yeah,
we can't-
save the Lulu.
It's reversed. It's reversed. It's fine. We're gonna take this off.
I got like.
All these buttons.
It is. It is everything in me right now. Not to throw it in there right now.
knees?
Yeah.
What did I
Every
do?
single thing in me right now.
This
not
is
to throw this in there.
disrespectful.
What did I do, Brandon?
You should, Brandon. You should.
Wait. Okay.
Donnie is nervous.
He is. Look out, he's scared. The most delicate pie I've ever seen. Watch the mic! Watch the mic! He doesn't want it so
It's on
bad.
his face. That's all that matters.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
on his face.
Oh.
It's on me. It's on the carpet, but it's also on his face. Look, that was my first time.
I hope you got that.
All right.
That's amazing.